All right, here we go. Not really shocking, because there's people to be mad at, I suppose, but at the same time, there's a lot of these people are not necessarily to blame because this is circumstances that studios were not in control of. Although I would argue they bet on the wrong horse politically. But lockdowns have appeared to have killed the movie theater industry. So here we have a sequel anticipated and long awaited because the Wonder Woman film was very popular. It was very good. And so the follow-up, there's excitement for it. Unfortunately, it didn't get to come out the way it was supposed to. The movie season, the summer blockbuster, never happened this year because you know why. So what to do while you're sitting on this? And now word appears to be the lockdowns will continue and perhaps even get worse. I don't know. I don't think I am in total disagreement with that. I don't think it's necessary. I think there's precautions people can make considering the numbers on the survivability of it and everything like that. I think the peak was in March on this, but nevertheless, this is how it is, and so I just don't see them surviving. I don't think bailouts can solve it. That's not a sustainable measure. And for the purposes of movies that you've already plunked a lot of money in to make, such as Wonder Woman and then Black Widow and James Bond and stuff like that, even if they did allow the theaters open, then there's this, you got to worry about the population who might still be scared to do it, and that's their choice. That's up to them. And you can't bank on the audience that would have been there normally because it won't be there. And so it's a loss all around. Meanwhile, for the purposes of Warner Brothers and their parent company, AT&T, they're banking an awful lot on HBOmax. And they want eyes on it. And even the word from Disney is that they're putting everything on D+. That's their main focus of their operations now. They can't get their parks open normally. They can't go to theaters. So, as for the studios saving them and that they, finagle the laws where they could own theaters, and there doesn't seem to be much interest in that either, because especially in the case of Warner, they're in such debt. So it's just more taking on, and it's the gamble. Whereas here, they was like, well, just go to the streaming service. So, and that is in the subscription amount that people could go in, and that if you get a massive draw on that, then it's good for the streaming service. But can it match the profits you would make from theatrical release? And as it stands now, I'm very dubious on that. That perhaps this can pay off, and in a lot of ways, Wonder Woman can play a part in developing the DCEU on HBOmax, because they're banking big on Snyder Cut, and that'll be coming, and that's the excitement for HBOmax at the moment. But it sure puts a huge burden on it, because even if it does well, it may not be good enough for the purposes that AT&T needs it to do, which is to bring in just bucket loads of subscribers. And then, how do you get them to stay? So you got to make more of these. And do you have the cash to keep making these big superhero spectaculars? Perhaps doing the miniseries is probably the way to do it, where you stretch it out with footage that's kind of cheap to make. And the special effects spectacular can be the grand finale or what have you for the season of your superhero miniseries type deal. But the theatrical release and whatnot may have come to an end. I mean, if they can ever finish the Batman, that'll probably be on HBO Max at this point. Black Widow will most definitely be on D+. So anyway, here they go. There was a leak, and then they went ahead and did the official announcement. You're not going to be able to sit on this for very long. So Warner Brothers Pictures' Wonder Woman 1984 flies to historic simultaneous release in theaters and on HBO Max in the U.S. on Christmas Day. Trying to make it sound like it's some great wonder. It's not what anyone wanted. Most notably, Patty Jenkins, who, and it's understandable. I can understand her upset about this because she shot it in mind with the thought that her audience would see it in theaters. That's the main thing. Of course, it goes on to Blu-ray and then on TV eventually, and it would be on HBOmax eventually. But that initial chance you get to have that experience and that to be enveloped in that, how the movies can present that for you. You can only do that in the theater unless you're really wealthy and you have your own private theater in your home. Then, you could probably recreate that and, have popcorn and all that. But beyond that, no, it's not the same thing. It's certainly not the same thing as watching it on your phone. But I'm afraid, and I hate it, but I'm afraid that's the way it is. And I can understand her being upset about that. But on the other hand, I can certainly understand Warner Brothers' position here. Time's ticking away, and they got to produce product. And Wonder Woman could bring in some subscribers, but they're giving a chance here for people to see it in theaters. It's just a matter of wherever you are, are your authorities allowing theaters to be open, and how many of you want to go in there? My job involves me running into people all the time, so I would go. Although I've been hit by 2 hurricanes, and so the town where the theaters are, they probably won't be able to open. So I probably don't get the chance. Because I'm outside of a city called Lake Charles, Louisiana, and it was horribly devastated by those storms, far more than the little town I live in. So, so that's my situation. So, probably going to have to watch this on HBOmax. Yeah. So anyway, today, Warner Brothers Pictures announced that its highly anticipated superhero tentpole film, Wonder Woman 1984, will be released simultaneously in theaters and on the HBOmax streaming platform in the U.S. on December 25th. Hey, that's Christmas, Jesus' birthday. While debuting theatrically in international markets a week earlier, starting on December 16th. Oh, well, you guys overseas get it before we do. Well, of course, there's a lot of lockdowns over there, too, so I don't know that you'll be able to, but maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones. And you're going to spoil it. You're going to spoil it. Oh, well. Anyway, the film will be available for a month on HBO Max in the U.S., included at no additional cost to subscribers. Well, now that's impressive. Because I believe, what was it, Mulan, that Disney put on out there, but you had to pay out the wazoo to see it. Now, I understand why they did that, because, again, just putting it on HBO Max might more than likely will not make up for the cost you put into producing it the way you could recoup that through theatrical release. So, but they want happy customers and people interested in it. So that's the kind of give and take it is. And over time, properties like Wonder Woman may pay off. So anyway, as we navigate these unprecedented times, we've had to be innovative in keeping our businesses moving forward while continuing to super serve our fans, said Ann Sarnoff, Chair and CEO, Warner Media Studios and Networks Group, which includes Warner Brothers Pictures. Boy, everything's so compartmentalized, Anyway, this is an amazing film that really comes to life on the big screen. And working with our partners in the exhibition community, we will provide that option, to consumers in the U.S., where theaters are open. Wherever that is. We realize that a lot of consumers can't go back to the movies due to the pandemic, so we also want to give them the option to see Wonder Woman 1984 via our HBO Max platform. We appreciate how patient audience have been and given the great, it's not that patient, given the great anticipation around Wonder Woman 1984, we are grateful to be able to make this terrifically entertaining movie widely available in these challenging times, said Toby Emmerich, chairman, Warner Brothers Pictures Group. Oh boy, so the synopsis. Fast forward to the ages, Wonder Woman's next big screen adventure finds her facing two all-new foes, Max Lord and the Cheetah. Lately, there's been stuff that there's going to be some anti-Trump stuff, and looking how Pedro Pascal looks in his blonde wig and stuff. Although Trump was not really all that blonde back in the 80s. No. But anyway, so that's what we got. It's sad, but it's understandable. It's a bit of a mess here. as this goes. But meanwhile, HBOmax is their focal point, and for right now, that's all on the shoulders of Snyder Cut, which Wonder Woman plays a role in, and to some extent, this might benefit that as sort of a kind of a precursor to it. Here's Wonder Woman, one of the major characters from the Justice League. So remember those guys? Here she is. Hopefully it doesn't have too much politics in it. That would be really bad, especially what's going on right now. Come Christmas time, we don't want to get that. We don't want any more campaigns. No more political ads. We just want to watch Wonder Woman save the day. That's what we want to see. And hopefully it follows suit the way it did in the first movie with this new story and all that. So I hope for the best on that. It's just a sad outcome, but I don't really see what their other options were in this terrible scenario we all find ourselves in. So hopefully the movie's really good and helps bolster up the Snyder Cut deal. But Snyder Cut, again, has a huge burden on it at this point. Very much like what poor Mandalorian has. Can Mandalorian save Star Wars? No, it can't. That's a different story, but it is in the same position. It's kind of strange how these two streaming services have these one sort of shows. I mean, Snyder Cut's going to be a show now with a 4-part miniseries. So yeah, it's kind of odd how that turned out, but there it is. So I guess we're getting Wonder Woman for Christmas one way or another.
All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. Hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.